Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. It's Ms. Doubrley at Broadway Family Karate. We are in week 11, believe it or not, of these spring terms. We're really in the home stretch now. Today we're going to be working on our fundamentals A-Day material. So really getting you guys ready for our belt testing coming up next week. We'll be looking at self-defense kata number 1, the 3 merits of a pattern. We will be bringing our combination together of our open hand and backhand strikes. We're going to be reviewing our wedging block. We've been working on that for the past few weeks. That'll just be a quick review today on that. But we're going to bring back something that we haven't looked at in a while, that reverse elbow strike, both the formal and the step-through varieties of that. So some new things to dig into, or at least some things to bring back to memory that we haven't looked at in a while. But let's go ahead and get started by bowing in together, of course. Sharyut, Kine. Tenets of Taekwondo begin. Courtesy, humility, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. Kine. Alrighty, well, first thing we're going to do is warm up tonight. So we're going to start by looking at our open hand strikes, our backhand strikes, and then putting those together into that combination. So let's get into a wedge guard here together. I've got my left side forward. For our open hand strikes, we're going to be starting with the backhand here. So it'll just be 1, 2, just like we've been doing. We're just going to do a couple just to kind of get you moving a little bit. All right, and go. 1, 2, open hands. Go. 1, 2, one more. Go. 1, 2. And we're going to stay on this side. We're going to do a backhand strike. So for the backhand, we'll actually be starting with the front hand. And again, we'll do those 2 strikes for each count. And go. 1, 2. Another backhand. Go. 1, 2. One more. Go. 1, 2. Very nice. All right. Let's go ahead on this side. We're going to do that combination, starting with the backhand here. So that same techniques we were just doing, so we're putting them together. So we're starting with the backhand, and it's 1, 2. Then we'll just go right back to our guard. All right. Then we're going to put them all together after we do both sides. One more on this side of the combo. So it's 1, 2, open hand, backhand. One more of those. Go. Open, back. Good. Let's go ahead on to the other side. We'll do the same thing. We'll do open, back, the combo, and then we're going to put it all together. So we're going to start with our open hand on the back, and it's 1, 2, good. Again. 1, 2. One last time. Go. 1, 2, good. Now we're going to do our backhand strikes on that side. We'll start with the front hand for this one. So it's going to be 1, 2, back to the wedge, and go. 1, 2, back to the wedge. One more. 1, 2, good. Now we're going to do that open hand, backhand on that same side. So we're going to start with the backhand here. It's going to be 1, 2, good. One more. 1, 2, one last one, and go. 1, 2. Now, we're going to do this just like we do in the pattern. We're going to actually do backhand and then front hand, both open and backhand strikes. So just watch me this first time. Sounds new. We've actually been doing this in our pattern for a while. So we're going to do an open hand, backhand. We're going to take that other hand and do the same thing. Open hand, backhand, wedge up. So it's going to be actually 4 techniques that we're doing there. Just putting those combos together. Watch one more time. Open, back, wedge. All right, go ahead and join me. So we'll do 4 for each one. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, wedge. All right, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, wedge. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, wedge. All right, let's go back to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. So we're starting with this backhand. It's going to be open, back, open, back. Here we go. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the wedge. Again, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the wedge. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the wedge. Good. Now, like I said, we've actually been doing that in the pattern the whole time, even though it seems sort of new. We're going to practice it with a partner a little bit later, so then we'll have the whole thing brought together finally. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on now. We're going to look at something we haven't looked at in a while, the reverse elbow. We're going to look at both the formal variety of that and the step through. So let's go ahead and start with our formal reverse elbow. We're going to get into a nice front stance here, good and wide, bent on the front leg, straight on the back. Now, We're gonna bring up our arm, palm facing in, so about here at our shoulder. This is the arm we're gonna strike with. You can take this other hand and just kind of grab that fist. Important part of this reverse elbow, of course, is to bend those knees. We want to bend those knees so that we can really rotate into our strike. So just watch for just a minute. I'm gonna twist, strike. Watch one more time. We're gonna twist, strike. All right, so go ahead and join me. Get into your nice front stance. Get that arm up, palm facing in. Go ahead and grab, bend those knees. Here we go together. We're gonna twist, strike. Twist, strike. Twist, strike. All right, let's go ahead and practice that on the other side. So we're just gonna switch that stance. Gonna bring that other arm up, palm in. Let's go ahead and grab that. Good. Again, we wanna bend to those knees so that we can twist, all right? So we're gonna twist and strike. Twist and strike. Twist and strike. Now, we're going to look at that step-through variety of this as well. Seems more complicated, and it is a little more complicated, but really the idea is exactly the same. You're just getting a little more power out of it by using that step-through. So, for this reverse elbow with the step-through, we're actually going to start in a parallel stance here. We're going to go ahead and bring the arm up. This is the arm that we're going to be striking with. We can go ahead and grab it just like we did for the formal version of this technique. The thing that we're going to do that's different is we're going to step back on the opposite leg. I've got this arm, so I'm going to step back here. Still want a nice bend. And then we're just going to step through and strike. So let's watch me do that this first time. I'm going to step, strike. So I'm coming right back to where we started with our formal. All right, let's try that again. Parallel, arm up. We're just holding here. Just gives us a little more balance, a little more stable position. We're going to step back. Step through, strike. All right, one more time on that side. We're gonna hold. We're gonna step back with the opposite leg. Step through, strike. This will make more sense probably when you have a target in front of you as well. Let's try this on the other side. So, parallel legs, bringing our arm up. This is the arm we're gonna be striking with. Got that palm facing in. We're gonna go ahead and grab that. We're gonna step back on the opposite leg. So this arm's up. This leg's coming back. Nice bend in those knees. We're gonna step, strike. All right? Again, parallel, step back, step through, strike. One more for our warm-up. Step back, step through, strike. Seems hard, it's not. You guys it's gonna come right back to your memory with no problem at all. And we'll practice it with the partner so it'll make a little more sense then too. All right. Let's go ahead and stretch, and we'll jump into our lesson. Over to this side, really try to make sure you feel this through your ribs. Good. Same thing over to the other side. Really open up those rib muscles. Breathe deep. Okay. Let's go ahead and get really tall. Again, this is strengthening, lengthening everything with this one. Your leg, your arms, those muscles around your stomach. This is a great stretch. Good, let's go ahead and take it down to the floor. Just let your head hang and your arms hang. Feel this up the back of your legs and into your low back. Great, let's come on back up. Let's put our hands on our low back. We're gonna just bend backwards slightly, kind of from your midsection. Don't do this one too aggressively. This is actually a very small move. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and stick out our right arm. We're going to scoop in with the other, stretch our shoulder area. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just scoop that arm across. And we're going to do a similar stretch, of course, but a little deeper. So we're going to take our right arm behind and then just sort of grab that elbow and gently give it a little bit of a pull, sort of down or across. You should feel a little bit deeper stretch in that same tricep and shoulder areas, right all around here. And switch sides. Awesome. Let's go ahead and those fingers. Push out, palms down. Really push through your palms with this one. That'll make that stretch even deeper for you. You feel that, of course, in your fingers, through your palms. Try to feel it all the way up your arm with this one. You'd be surprised how far that stretch goes, especially for something small. Let's go ahead and take that up towards the ceiling. Good. Now, there's one thing I didn't do that we need to make sure to do, and that's our rotations here for our sides. So let's go ahead and do that before we move on to the lesson. So we're going to actually stretch across here. We want to make sure for what we're doing tonight that we have really good rotation. Something like those reverse elbow strikes, we need to make sure we're twisting nicely into that. So we want to make sure you've got those midsection muscles really nice and warm, long. Good. Let's take this a little bit higher. So we're going to take it up towards the ceiling now. That'll get you even longer. You should really feel that all the way from your fingertips right on down through your leg even. Really lengthening those muscles. All right, hands by your sides. Sure you can. All right, so we are warm, we are stretched. Let's go ahead and jump into what we're doing today. We're going to start with self-defense kata number 1. Of course, we've been working on this for a long time now. We're going to be making sure we incorporate today, all of our merits for a pattern. So we want to be looking at good technique so that we're doing everything as well as we can. Every technique is as close to perfect as we can get it. We're going to be looking, of course, at power, which is making these techniques effective, adding that oomph that actually makes them self-defense worthy, something that we can use to protect ourselves. We're going to be adding tonight focus. So focus in a pattern means a couple of different things. It means, number one, you're looking at what you're doing. So if you're doing palm heel strikes, for example, and you're doing a middle and a high and a middle and a high, that you're looking at those places as you do them. So you're looking middle, then looking high, looking middle, looking high. So you're looking at your techniques. You won't be able to place them properly if you're not focused on what you're doing. Now, focus also means sometimes that you're shifting where you're looking, and we do that in self-defense kata number 1. So we start this pattern going one direction, but then we have a bad guy behind us. So we actually have to shift our attention and deal with what's going on behind us. You have to shift where you're looking before you can shift what you're doing. So I want to make sure that you're aware of that shift in focus. It's really the main shift in focus for self-defense kata number 1. So I'll point that out as we're doing it today, but just make sure to keep that in your mind as we're moving through this. Now, because we haven't done this in a while, we're going to be belt testing. We'll also be adding back in the naming of techniques. We haven't had to do that for a really long time, but it's worth remembering that doing a technique well, having good technique, means you actually know what technique it is you're doing. So we're going to add that back in couple of times today so you can bring back to memory what those techniques really are. So let's go ahead and do this together today. Let's go ahead and get in our beginning stance. Take a deep breath. Patterns can be intimidating for people. You want to make sure you're breathing. All right, so this first time through, we'll actually be naming techniques, each one. All right, here we are together. And begin. So we're just going to step, of course. Jack Benny stance, wedge guard, foot stomp, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, clench, pull in, knee, 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 push off, wedge guard, shuffle step, shuffle step. Now, this is where we have that shift in focus. Looking at my bad guys here, but I got to look at one behind me. First thing I'm going to do is turn my eyes that way, right? So we're going to shift. There's our shift in focus. And then we're going to be bringing that wedge guard. We're going to shift it up to be facing that way. So as we're naming techniques here, this is going to be wedge guard. We're going to do foot stomp, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, clinch, pull in, knee, 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 push off, wedge guard, shuffle step, shuffle step. All right, back to the beginning. Sure you can. It's been a while since we've named all those. Let's do it again. Haven't done it in a long time. So we're going to do the same pattern. Again, we're going to name techniques. Now, I won't stop you in the middle of that shift, but please have in mind that that's what you're doing. It's an important shift of what you're looking at. Then you shift your body to do all your techniques. Okay, so let's do this again. Back to your beginning. Take a deep breath. Make sure you're breathing during your pattern. It's important. And begin. Jack penny stance. Wedge guard. Foot stomp. Foot stomp. Elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, open hand strike, backhand strike. Pull in, clench, knee, knee, knee. Push off, wedge guard, shuffle step, shuffle step. Shift your focus. Wedge guard, foot stomp, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike. Palm heel strike, palm heel strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, open hand strike, backhand strike. Clench, pull in, knee, knee, knee. Shuffle step, shuffle step. Back to the beginning. Very nice. All right, we're going to do this one more time the way we've been doing it more recently with our count. So you can just stay with me this time. Again, take a deep breath. Always make sure you're breathing during your patterns. It's a long time not to breathe. All right. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back to our ready stance. All right. There you go. Self-defense kata number 1, naming techniques and counting through. We've more recently been doing it without a count as well, so if you feel comfortable doing that, go for it. It's a really great way to practice. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next technique for the evening. We're going to look at open hand, backhand combination. So we've done the open hands together. We've done the back hands together. Tonight we're really putting into that real combination where we're doing 4 of them, just like we've been doing in the pattern. Let's go ahead and practice a couple times in the air, then we're going to bring our partner up. So let's get into our wedge guard here. We're just going to go ahead and start out with that combination. So it's going to be open, back, right back into that wedge, okay? One more time, open, back, wedge. Let's try 2 times on the other side as well, so switch that stance for me. Good, starting with that back hand, open, back, good. One more time, and open, back, wedge. All right, you got a partner working with you tonight, bring them on up. Hello, Doubrley. All right, so we are going to be using our lovely clapper target or paddle target. Excuse me. We've used a lot of different things this term for improvised tools, so if you want to use one of those, go for it. I think we've used the insole of a shoe, we've used paper for this sort of thing, we've used some cardboard, whatever you've got available, you and your partner make it work. Now, it's nice to have this available because, of course, it's very robust. So, for these first few, we're going to be doing, again, those 4 strikes because we're adding everything together. You'll want to make sure these first couple that you kind of find your distance and so forth. So don't go hard, don't try to go fast. Just make sure you've got the right distance in here. So, all right, now, tell you what, just watch this first one. So for this first one, we're starting with our back hand. I'm a left side forward to my wedge guard. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're working one hand at a time. All right, go ahead and try it with me. We'll take this one a little slow and go. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. right back to your wedge. All right, let's take that again, still pretty slow, and go open, back, wedge. If that's going well, make it a little bit faster, a little bit harder if you feel comfortable doing so. And go. Open, back, wedge. Again. Open, back, wedge. Again. Open, wedge. All right. Let's go ahead and switch your arm setup. So we're going to switch our stance. I'm just going to switch on this side because it gives you guys a little bit of a different perspective of what I'm doing here. So it's the same technique. Open, back, open, back. Again, start slow. Make sure you got your target. And go open, back, wedge. Again, open, back, wedge. Again, open, back, wedge. It's going well. Take it a little bit faster, a little bit harder, a little more flow to it. And go. Again. Again. Thank you. So this feels sort of new because we haven't actually done it this way until now. But we've actually been using the same combination in self-defense Kata 1 the entire term. So really it's just new doing it on a target. But we've been doing it the whole time. If you want to, practice this a little bit more if it doesn't feel quite natural yet. I actually think once you get them all flowing together, it makes a really nice combination. You don't even have to think about how it is you're moving. But that is our open hand, backhand combination. All right, the next thing we're going to look at tonight is something we've been working on a lot these past few weeks, the wedging block. So of course the wedging block we've been using against a double grab here. Somebody's put their hands on us and we're coming forward, taking those hands off. Now, to make sure this is working properly, of course, you want to make sure that you've got this part well. You don't want to throw these out. You don't want them really far away either. So it's a fairly close-in technique. Keep that in mind while you're doing it. Also remember, use your voice. As with any self-defense technique, make sure you're wedging up and getting away at the end. So if you have a partner, go ahead and bring them on up. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this one because we've been using this one a lot the past few weeks. All right. So we're going to just jump in by telling our partner to actually grab us. So Ms. Doubrley, if you'll go ahead and grab me. All right, I'm going to step in, do our wedging block. I'm going to use my voice. So I'm going to say, let go. I'm going to wedge up, get away. She's reminding me to get away, of course, by the grab. It's a great thing for you bad guys to do. Let's try it one more time with the attack band. So I'm here, attack. She's going to grab me, step in, let go. Got it. Now, you're welcome to step in on either side. We're stepping into a nice front stance. You won't have to think about that too much in self-defense. You'll just do it. But you might want to vary up the sides. To me, when I change my footwork, it changes a little bit with how I wedge up, get away. But in truth, it's a minor detail. But try to remember to practice both sides. It helps. We're going to do this a couple more times. No attack command. Otherwise, everything's the same. Please make sure you're using your voice, using self-defense voice, and that you're wedging up, getting away. All right, Ms. Doubrley, I'm just going to stand here, and you can grab me when you're ready. Let go. Good. Reset with your partner. Again, we're going to do this with no attack command. Let go. Good. She's got a really long reach, too. All right. We're going to do this one more time. No attack command. And again, vary your sides if you haven't been. Let go. Good. Thank you, Now, again, change up your sides if you think about it. She's really doing a great job of grabbing back in. She's actually still fairly close to me when we do that. Wedging up and getting away is always appropriate if that's what you can do. But don't forget too, if you're in something like this, you have things you could be doing, right? If you need to, if they're still that close in when you're done with that little breakaway. Think about other self-defense things you can add on the end while keeping your wedge guard up and keeping safe. Now, this is something we've been working on a long time. If you need more assistance with this move, feel free to look at some of our earlier videos because we've got a lot of weeks where we really delve into the wedging guard. taking it nice and slow with lots of detail. So don't hesitate to look back at that if that's going to help you. But I think it's something you probably already have from what we've been doing these past few weeks. Now, the last thing we're going to dig into tonight is that reverse elbow, because it's been a long time since we've taken a look at that. Let's practice this in the air a couple more times, because it's been a long while. Then we'll bring our partner up, and we'll take a look at it with them on the shield. So, reverse elbow, just what it sounds like. You're using your back elbow. For the formal version, we're just going to be in a nice front stance. Bent front leg, straight back leg. It's this arm associated with that back leg that's going to be doing your striking. Again, bat up here with your shoulder, nice tight fist will help, having it turned in. We're using sort of this fatty part of our arm here. If you have your arm turned sideways, your bone is right there, not comfortable for you when you're striking. Might not damage you, but it would be better to just turn it so your thumb is facing you, and you're more likely to get that sort of meaty part of your arm. It'll really make a difference for you. So we want to make sure we bend our knees. I'm actually pretty much almost on the balls there of my feet so that I really am able to move as I need to. Because there's a lot of rotation to get the power you need for an elbow. So we're here, arms up, we're going to twist, strike, twist, strike, twist, strike. If you haven't joined me, please do. Twist, strike, twist, strike. Okay, let's try the other side. Just switching our legs, bringing that arm up, holding it. You don't have to hold. I think it helps. Keeps it a little more stable. And you don't have to worry about what you're doing with that arm either. All right, make sure you get a bend up on the balls of your feet if you need to be even. And then we're twisting and striking. Twist, strike, twist, strike, twist, strike, twist, strike. All right, tell you what, let's stop there and go ahead and practice that before we move on to our step through. Ms. Doubrley, if you'll come out with that shield. All right, so we've got a nice, thick, robust shield here. If you're working with this at home, great. If you don't have that, just remember elbows are powerful. You probably want to back off your power a little bit while you're practicing this. We've done this, I think, with some cushions. We've done some shield work where we've had boxes with pillows or cushions in them. Whatever it is you're using, if it's not quite this robust, please be very careful with working with this with a partner. All right, so I'm actually going to set up a little bit to the side because I'm going to be wanting my full arm here to hit my shield. So I'm in a nice front stance. Got my arm up just like we talked about. I'm just off to the side of the shield just a little bit so I can really get that. I'm going to do just what we talked about. I'm going to bend those knees, twist, and then strike. Okay, let's try this together. So let's twist, strike, twist, strike, twist, strike. One more on this side. Twist, strike. Okay? Fairly simple, but of course you want to make sure you have really good technique when you're doing something like this. All right, let's do the other arm. So again, I'm setting up a little bit to the side of it. Got a nice front stance here. Gonna bring this arm up. I like to grab it, so I'm gonna do that. Gonna get sort of on the balls almost at my feet so I can get a nice bend in my knees. Gonna twist, strike. Try that again. So we're gonna together twist, strike, twist, strike. Again, twist and strike. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Doubrley. That's our formal reverse elbow. To get even a little more power and honestly just add a little fun, we can do these step through. So we'll look at that together and then we'll bring our partner back up. For our step through, our setup's slightly different because we've got parallel feet. Pick an arm you want to start with. I'll start with my right here. Arm setup is exactly the same. Still even go ahead and grab it. I'm going to be stepping back on the opposite leg. So I have this arm up. This is the leg I'm going to step back with. Still have that bend. Still going to end up in that nice front stance. So we're here. We're going to step, twist into that, just like we've been doing. Let's try that again. We're parallel. Step back, step through, strike. Parallel, step back, step through, strike. Switch our arms. All right, so parallel legs. got our arm up, we're gonna grab it, we're gonna step back on the opposite leg. We're gonna step through, strike. We're parallel, we step back, we step through, strike. Parallel, step back, step through, strike. All right, let's try this with a partner. I think it'll actually make more sense. Let's start with you. Come on back up again. Using the shield again. Now, the setup on this one is slightly different. My feet are parallel. I'm going to pick an arm. We'll go ahead and start with my left arm here. I'm actually going to go ahead and set it here against my shield. This will be the arm I'm striking with. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab it with my other. I'm going to be stepping back. Shift my thing here just a little bit. Let me actually practice. Okay, good. So you'll need to play just a little bit to make sure where you want to stand so that your arm is actually hitting correctly. So I begin a little bit off with the shield. So when I step through, I'm hitting it just the way I did before. Okay, so we're here. Stepping back, stepping through, strike. So end up exactly where we did for the other version. Let's try that again. Got your hand right there. You're stepping back, stepping through, and strike. One more time, this left arm. Right up here in the shield. Stepping back, stepping through, strike. All right, don't overcomplicate it. It flows really nice if you don't think too hard about it. Let's go ahead and try the other arm. So same thing, you're starting with the arm you want to strike with. I've got it up here. Got it off just a little bit, just so that's landing just where I want it to land. Go ahead and hold, just like I did for the other version. We're going to step back with the opposite leg. So this arm's here. I'm going to step back here. I'm going to just slow it real quick just to make sure this makes sense for me. Step through, strike. Yeah, works just the way I want it to. Parallel feet, arm right up here on your shield. We're going to step back, step through, strike. Good. Let's try that again. Arm where you want it to be. Okay, step back opposite, step through, strike. Let's do it again. Arm where I want it, legs parallel, step back with the opposite, step through, strike. Thank you. Now, it's been a while since we've worked on that one. If it's making your brain hurt, that's okay. Practice it a couple of times. Again, we've got this in even more detail in our earlier videos. So don't hesitate to go back, watch that a few more times so you can get extra practice in. But again, your reverse elbow strike, the formal version, will work just fine in self-defense. So don't worry yourself too much if you find that step through a little bit challenging. All right, so we've got to look at self-defense kata number 1, reminding ourselves what the name of our techniques were, which is kind of nice to remember when we're moving on to belt testing. We got to really practice that combination of the open hand and backhand strikes, which, believe it or not, we've been doing the whole term and just didn't know it because we were hiding that in our pattern. We got to remind ourselves about that wedging block, which you guys, I'm sure, have been doing a great job these past few weeks. And we got to work on that reverse elbow strike, both the formal and the step through. A lot of fun. I actually really like the elbow strikes. Very effective in self-defense as well. So make sure you're practicing these. You're going to be looking at your belt test next week. So these are things you want to be thinking about. How would you want to demonstrate them? Which ones are your favorites? Also pay particular attention to the pattern. We're going to be asking you a couple of different and possibly difficult questions next week. So really pay attention to what's going on in your pattern. Watch the video a couple of times. I think that's all we've got going on this week. So let's go ahead and wrap up the way we usually do. Let's bow out together. If you'll join me. Sharyut, Kine. Student oath begin. I pledge to be a champion of freedom and justice. I pledge to observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I pledge to respect my instructors and my fellow students. I pledge never to misuse Taekwondo. I pledge to build a more peaceful world. Kine. All right, make sure you guys get out and enjoy the sunshine. Make sure you practice a couple of times this week on your A-Day material. Be safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time.